What would you say is the most iconic Alfred Hitchcock film? Because as I've been working myself through his filmography, there was one prominent one that I hadn't seen yet. So let's talk about it in this new episode of Thought Outer Spring with me, Sumi, and today we're talking about Alfred Hitchcock's To Catch a Thief. I think my problem was going into this, I expected a classic Hitchcock thriller. And while there are elements of his signature style and genre in this is much more lighthearted, if that makes sense. Despite this, I think this is one of his finest film cinematography and color-wise, and it really feels like a test run for the neon greens that would become iconic in Vertigo. And I think they might even look better in To Catch a Thief than they do in Vertigo, and that's my favorite Alfred Hitchcock film. Interestingly enough, I've been watching a lot of films and short films set in the French Riviera, and this too frames the region as a dreamlike space, with continental glamour, where everything is impossibly beautiful, from Grace Kelly's wardrobe to Cary Grant, and all of the sets that are used, the gorgeous Alpine that Grace Kelly drives. Obviously, this is one of the most iconic films costume-wise, with of course Edith Head being at the head of the costume department, making some iconic gowns for Grace Kelly. I'll make an entirely separate video for that. But to me, the core of this film is about surface and illusion. What lies beneath a highly polished world and society. Everything in this film is visually pleasing, from the jewelry to the cars to the wardrobe to, like I said, the fireworks, the coastline. It's stunning, but it's also slightly unsettling. There's one scene where Grace Kelly's character takes Cary Grant on a drive and they're being followed by the police and they start speeding along winding roads, which is disturbing knowing now what happened to Grace Kelly in Monaco, suffering a stroke behind the wheel as she was driving and ultimately meeting her demise. And it made me think about how sometimes, in a weird way, films do foreshadow the future. And this isn't the first time that I've noticed something like this happening. It creates this strange collision between mortality and fantasy that every time I encounter something like this makes me disassociate and panic, if I'm being honest. Unfortunately, I do have to say this may be my least favorite Hitchcock film. Again, I just prefer his thrillers, but it's still a classic for a reason. Let me know if you've seen it. Sorry this is my usual, breakdown deep dive, but I'll make another video about the costume design, and I'll see you guys very soon.